Welcome to Daf Yomi, Masechus Rosh Hashana, Daf Lamed Gimel 33. So glad to be back in Israel. I've yet to make an acquaintance with Shmuel. Don't know where he is, but hopefully we'll get him soon. I just had an interesting discussion with some of the Chevrei HaKolel here, the people who learn in Kolel in this shul here in Bnei Yeshiva's discussion. It's quite a common discussion among Jews, especially Haredi Jews, filter, no filter, internet, no internet. They said, it's like, if you have the internet, it's like, why should you go to a bad place with prostitutes? Maybe you shouldn't go there. You should. It's like getting the internet is like sitting there. I said, listen, the internet has a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. It's like Hashem gave you bechira. Hashem gave you free will. To put a sinun, to put a filter on your free will, that wouldn't be fair free will, right? Like God, Kadosh Baruch Hu gave you free will with a filter, so that would just take out the bad. It would only give you a choice to do good. I guess it wouldn't be called bechira. You have to be bocher ben tov l'ra. So they said, he gave me a mashal. It's like going, why don't I live in Tel Aviv? Why don't I go near a house of a zona? I don't understand the connection between the two. The guy's trying to tell us to me 100 times, kept on repeating himself. I said, you're not going to beat me. You're not going to beat me. The internet has bad, it has good. Kadosh Baruch Hu bechira. And because there are very good things about the internet, very big conveniences and very big good things that you could see on the internet, you shouldn't have a filter, in my opinion. Can I say that on camera? A Haredi audience. Can I say that? My yeshivish Haredi audience that swears by my word. Very funny. One of the people in the call here before I left to America, he sees me getting into the taxi. He says, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to America." I told him, "You know what?" I was joking around. I'm like, "You know what? I actually going to America to live there. I'm never coming back." He's like, "You're never coming back? You really believe me?" I said, "Until Mashiach comes, I'm not coming back." So, so then my niece, after he left, my niece said to me, I don't think he knows who you are. I don't think he knows that you don't joke around. So I met him today. And he came back. Actually, he took my seat here in the shul. Anyway, he says to me, "You must be Mashiach." He says, "Vince, you must be Mashiach." I said, "Why do you say that?" He said, "Because you said you're only going to come back and Mashiach comes. So if you came back, it means you're Mashiach." So I said, "You're right. Must be Mashiach." I said, "Must be my father is David HaMelech." Anyway, that was an interesting conversation I had today. And some of these people want to see my videos, but they don't have access because they don't have their sinun, their filter doesn't allow them to have YouTube, especially even if they request permission. If one of my videos has a girl in the video, even if she's wearing proper clothing and wearing a shaitel, the filter will never allow them to open that video. Anyway, let's go on. We're going to start with the daf today. The Gemara on Lamed Beis, we stopped at the Mishnah on the bottom. Over Mishnah says, "Over Lifnei Ateva." I'm sorry, the last Mishnah. Shofar Rosh Hashana in Ma'avir Laves Atchum. If you want to acquire, you don't have a shofar to blow on Rosh Hashanah, and the shofar is outside the Tchum Yom Tov. You're not allowed to buy the Tchumim on Yom Tov also. You can't go outside the Tchum. You can't move muksa to uncover rubble, to uncover it. Also, it would be included the Oraisa. You have a building that, a gal, he's referring to a building that collapsed. You can't dig up the ground because that's the melacha of choresh or binyan, if it's a place where it could be built over there. You can't climb up a tree if the chauffeur, someone places a chauffeur in a tree just to play a joke on you. They put your chauffeur in a tree. You can't ride an animal. Again, these are gzeros because you might take a branch and rip it off and make it to ride the animal. You can't go swimming because you can't swim across the English Channel to go get. Let's say you're in England and the chauffeur's in France. You can't swim across the English Channel, but you could take the channel. You could take the channel between them. That's a heter in Rashi and Hutch. Okay. You can't swim across the English Channel to get it because of the Xera you might make a life vest. And Chos can also be Medavar Shum Mishum Shus, be Medavar Shum Mishum Losasa. You can't carve out, right? You can't. You have to hollow out the shofar. You can't do that whether it's usher to do it because of darabanan or because of the raisa. We'll see the two cases in the Gemara. Avalim rotza litein lesochel maimo. Yeah, you need to if you want to put water or store water or wine or clean it out with water or wine. That's okay. In ma'akvin esat hinokos militzkoa. We don't hold back children from blowing the shofar if they want to blow the shofar. They're allowed to blow even though they're not mechuyev with davar. Masaskin imoy not shayim do. But we do engage them, tinokos, children, until they learn. We'll see. This apparent stira between these two lines. First line seems to say that it's b'diavad, misaskin imo. It sounds like even the chachila, you're allowed to teach them how to blow. Misasik lo yatsa, someone who blows absent-mindedly. He blows just decided to blow into a shofar without any kavana that he's doing a blowing. He's not yotzer. Shemem and misasik lo yatsa. Someone who hears from that person is also not yotzer. And where's my timer? Why can't you go across the tchum? Why can't you go outside the tchum to get the shofar? Shofar esehu. Shofar is only a mitzvah essay, even on the first day. If Yom Tov essay, velosa essay, Yom Tov is, it doesn't say you can't do malach. It also says Shabboson. Shabbos is an essay after Yom Tov has Shabboson also. And also doche lo save essay, mitzvah essay of shofar is not doche lo save an essay. There is a bit of a question over here that things in the Mishnah are not really Doraisas over here. Most of them are not Doraisas. We'll get that in a second. We said in the first part of the Mishnah, you don't go past the Tchum. The Tchum is the Rabbanan according to Moshe. It's not according to Rebbe Akiva, but according to we hold, it's only the Rabbanan. And it also says you can't move Muksa. That's the Rabbanan. And Doraisa, certainly Doraisas, Roch Menagav Behema, Olin Be'ilan, those are Doraisas. Certainly, of course, you can't do that. Why is Mishnah to say that? Now, the obvious question is, Rashi asks this question. He says that to ride an animal or to climb a tree is not doraisa. You're not following a biblical obligation. All it is a precaution that you shouldn't come to. If you climb a tree, you might rip off some fruits, or if you ride an animal, you might rip off a branch to use it, something to lead the animal with, to hit the animal with. So it's also derabanan, gzera derabanan. And the answer is because these are precautions against the deraisa. The other derabanans, muksa and tchumim, are never something which will come to a deraisa. Gemara really says Doraisa. Rashi wants to delete this Gemara from existence. What is the answer to this question? I'm not sure. Maybe by Zuve, the Gemara says Zuve and Sarach Lomar Zuka Sani. The Gemara answers whatever the explanation of the Gemara is that originally it said the Rabbana, and the way the Mishnah is formulated is say Zu this the Rabbana and Ein Sarach Lomar do it. Of course, this the Doraisa you can't do to violate to get the mitzvah shofar ksani. Another question over here is that here, right, when you're violating the mitzvahs, the mitzvahs losa say over here, when you're crossing the tchum, you're not blowing the shofar. You're accessing the shofar. It's a hechsher mitzvah. It's not actually a mitzvah. So the Gemara should have said hechsher mitzvah. We don't pass like Rabbi Lezer holds hechsher mitzvah bidocha Shabbos or Yom Tov, but a regular accessing a mitzvah. A hechsher mitzvah is never docha Shabbos Yom Tov according to Rabbanan. So what are the Gemara even talking about? Why does it say essay velosa say? It's just the fact that it's not even an essay. It's just hechsher mitzvah. A lot of questions over here. All right, vein chosken also top of the gimel manala. Vein chosken also be'medavar shu mishum shuvos be'medavar shu mishum losa say. You can't hollow it out with whether you're doing a doraisa or the rabbanan. Mishum shvus magla. A sickle is something with the rabbanan because that's a shino. And normally you don't use a sickle to hollow out a shofar. Losa say sakina, and this is doraisa. We to hollow it out makav patish would be with a knife. Hashna mishum shvus amart lo. Now first we said mishum shvus you can't do it. Losa say mibay. Of course you can't do the sakin with a knife. That's doraisa. Again, the Gemara answers zuve and sarach lomar zukasani. The formulation of the Mishnah is this the Rabbanan and Kol Shekan certainly a Doraisa you can't do. And mayim in water or wine you can put in to clean it out. You can't use urine to clean it out. Who is our Mishnah? Abba Sholi, it's Abba Shol. Tanya Abba Shol. Omer mayim o yayin mutter. water or wine you can put in order to clean it out. Meraglayim ostrom, they are covered. Meraglayim, you can't use urine to clean it out because that is degrading the mitzvah. You can't be mavazim mitzvahs. In ma'akvin, esatinokos melitkoa, hanoshim ma'akvin. The implication from the Mishnah, we could deduce from the Mishnah that Nashin, a woman, you would stop. They try to blow, you stop them because they're not mechuyev in the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah on grama, so they shouldn't be doing it. Right? The Gemara says that Radias apas and Kiyas shofar is chachma hi ve'yam malacha, but it's also midrabanan to blow for no reason on Yom Tov. Tanya ein ma'akvim, but different rights it says you don't stop women from blowing. Lo sanasha, lo tzadinokos. Women, you don't stop them. Let's call b'yom tov. Amar Abaye lo kasha. How Rabbi Yehuda, how Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon. These two, this Mishnah and the Brisa, which are seemingly at odds with each other, follow different Tanoic opinions. The Tanya Daber al Bnei Yisrael says that when it comes to the smicha, when you lean your hands on a korban before offering the korban, it says Bnei Yisrael. Bnei Yisrael is males. Bnei Yisrael somchim. Bnei Yisrael somchos. Males do smicha. When a woman brings a korban, she doesn't do smicha. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, and she can't do smicha according to Rabbi Yehuda because she's not obligated. In fact, doing it will be over in Baal Tosef. That's what he holds. You're not mechuyev b'davar. You do it. You're over Baal Tosef. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon Omrim, Nashim Somchos Rosh. So even though they're not mechuyev b'davar, they are allowed to do it. Why are they allowed to do it? Why is it not Baal Tosef? That's also a good question. But they hold it's not a problem, and therefore on Rosh Hashana, in ma'achven estinokos, we wouldn't and hanashim, we wouldn't stop them from blowing because they want to blow. There's a Rosh, and that's what we hold nowadays, that women could blow a shofar, or they could have someone blow for them. You say a bracha when you're Yimotia, Anisha, with a shofar. And the minute most places that women try to hear the shofar, they're not completely potter, and it's not called Baal Tosef. All right, ma'askin b'hem ad sheyilmedu. But you could engage or train the children until they learn. I'm not Rebbe Lezer, afilu b'Shabbos. You even do this if Rosh Hashana falls out on Shabbos, where no one's normally blowing, and the Gvulin, no one blows Rosh Hashana shofar on Shabbos. Still, you could engage them in blowing. You don't stop them from blowing Shabbos. So answer on Yom Tov where you could fulfill the mitzvah. This Bryce itself is a question. Amar is ask him First part says that you engage them even l'chadchila. I feel b'Shabbos am l'chadchila amrinantiku. We engage them means you tell them go blow the shofar. We do even l'chadchila. V'hader tana ein ma'akvin. And then it says the next line you don't hold them back. Yikubahu lo ma'akvin. And if they try to do it themselves without us prompting them, you don't stop them from doing l'chadchila lo amrinantiku. But we certainly don't say to them you should blow l'chadchila. Lo kasha kan. The katan shegil chinuch kam katan shlo gil chinuch. The answers Tapulam Gil and Beis that if it's a child that's already obligated to mitzvos, he reaches 6, 7, 8 years old, he understands mitzvos, then we encourage them to do it lechatchila because b'darabanan they are mechuyev in the mitzvos. When they're not a gil chinuch, then we don't stop them from blowing, but we do not encourage them to blow. Mizasik yatsa hatokei l'shir yatsa. The Mishnah says. If you absent-mindedly, that's the word article, absent-mindedly blow, you just decide, you start blowing things, you want to blow, you get angry, you're huffing and puffing at your wife, blowing at your children, huffing and puffing, and you take a shofar to calm your nerves, you blow into the shofar for no reason at all. It's a share, but let's say you do it, you have in mind to blow into the shofar, it makes a nice sound, you want to provide musical accompaniment to your Yom Tov Zmiros. Lema Misayele. Right? Is a shofar really an instrument? That's a question. I never really saw it, whether it's a woodwind instrument or a brass instrument. It's definitely not a brass instrument. It's not made out of brass. It's a woodwind instrument. It's not wood either. What is it? Don't know. It's percussion, maybe. Percussion is a form of things. Cymbals or a tambourine, it's percussion. Drums, I think, are percussion also. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe shofars are a percussion instrument. You want to use it as a percussion instrument. Yatsa, then you would be Yotze. Rava. It's a proof to Rava. I'm Rava. Yatsa. You do it not for the purpose of a mitzvah, but you do it for the purpose of you wanted to do it in order to make a nice sound. You are Yotze. So you see like Rava, mitzvahs and tzrichas kavanah. The Gemara says Dilma Tekel Asher Nami Misasek Karli. The Gemara says maybe it's not a proof this mission of Rava. Maybe included in misasek is also blowing lashir, in which case you wouldn't be Yotze. Hashamei min misasek lo yatsa. Hashamei min hashmashmiya la'atzmo ma yatsa. The implication for the Mishnah If you hear from someone who's huffing and puffing and blowing in the shofar and blowing this house down like a big bad wolf, um, but if you heard from someone who's just blowing, he intends to blow the shofar, whether for the mitzvah or just lashir, according to Rava. Um, but he's not doing it to fulfill your obligation to emotzi you. You see your yotze. It's only shemem and masasek lo yotze. But if he's doing a legal blowing, that would be good for his tkiyah shofar. You could be yotze with him, even though he doesn't have you in mind. Lema dehavit yufta de Rabbi Zera. See, it's a disproof to Rabbi Zera. The Amar le Rabbi Zera l'shami. Rabbi Zera said to his shamish, the person attending him, he kavin v'takali. He said, "Be machavin for me when you're built tokeya." Dilma, I did Tana Rishon Misasik. Tana Hevanam Misasik. Gemara says maybe it's not a disproof to Rabbi Zera, because the Resha, when it's talking about Misasik, Misasik Tokeya, when he's just blowing into the shofar absentmindedly for no purpose. Now, Yosef the Sefer also talked about Misasik, but really included in Misasik. But really, when a person blows for somebody else, he has to have in mind the other person, like Rabbi Zera says. Mishnah, say there tkiyo shalosh al shalosh shalosh. This is midoraisa. How many tkiyos you have to blow? The answer is 9. Tkiya trua, tkiya trua, tkiya trua, tkiya. Shir tkiya kishalosh truos. How long does the shir of tkiya be? How long do you have to make the sound for? We saw my father making a tkiya for 30 seconds. It has to be 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds, a minute and a half. We'll come out with a video soon. The Langa shir, the Benti shir, about tkiya shofar. Stay tuned. Sequel, part 2 to that video. Those who enjoyed that video. Shir Tkiya Kishalosh Truos. The Mishnah seemingly says that the shir of Tkiya has to be like the length of 3 truos. However, we'll see in the Gemara how long a trua has to be. Shir Trua Kishalosh Yivavos. The shir of Trua is like 3 whimperings. Yivava. We'll see what Yivava really is. Takab Rishon Masha Bashniya Kishtayim. He did a tkiya, right, a regular tkiya, the first tkiya of the 9 soundings, and then he blew a trua, and then he did a tkiya which lasted the amount that 2 tkiyas can last. So was he yotze the last tkiya of the first set and the first tkiya of the middle set? The answer is we've seen this Mishnah quoted before. Ein biyado ala achas, only he's yotze the tkiya of the first set. Mishabirach la'achkak nismana lo shofar. Someone who's birach. Birach here means that he davened Musaf already, and he didn't have a shofar. Normally, he's supposed to blow the tkiyos during Musaf or the Chazar Sashas of Musaf, and then he found the shofar. He does tkiya shura tkiya 3 times, 9 sounds, even though he's not during davening. It's not attached to the davening. Just like Shdech Sibur is chayav daven Musaf, every yachid is obligated daven Musaf. And Malil says Shdech Sibur, if they don't know how to daven, we'll see at the end of the Gemara, at the end of this Masechta, Shdech Sibur, that people don't know how to daven themselves, he can be multi other people, they're silent Shema Esrei, they're not chayav their own silent Shema Esrei. We'll see if this really applies nowadays. Gemara says, Vatanya shir tkiya kitrua. The Brisa says a shir of a tkiya is not like 3 truas, it's like 1 trua. Amar Abaye Tani Dan Chashav tkiya the kuluhu babi. Our Mishnah, when it says that tkiya is like 3 truos, he was talking about the truos, all 3 truos, meaning he was talking about like 3 truos. He was just saying you have to blow 3 truos during the set of your 9 tkiyos. Tana bara tkiya the chulababe, maybe truos the chulababe, saying tkiyos of all 6 tkiyos and 3 truos. Tana bara chashav chad baba v'sulo. The Brisa, when it says the shir tkiya of the trua, is talking about 1 set of the 3 sets, right? Tkiya trua, tkiya is 1 set and 2 more. So the Brisa was being more specific, was talking about one of those sets, the shir of tkiya, which is really the halacha, has to be the length of a trua, and that's the halacha. Shir trua is gimel yavavos. What's the shir of a trua? 3 yavavos. Atanya shir trua kishalosh shvarim. Brisa says shir of trua is like shvarim. Shvarim is a longer sound than a yavava. This is a machlokes. It says Yom Trua Yelachem. The pasuk in the Torah says Yom Trua Yelachem. It says the word Trua. It has Targum English translated Yom Yavava Yehelachon, a day of Yavava, whimpering. What does that mean? When Sisra's mother heard that he died, she was worried that he died. She looked out the window and she whimpered. Marsavar Gunuche Ganach. The first opinion holds that it has to be three. The opinion that holds Shvarim is a longer sound. He held Genuche Ganach that she was moaning. Moaning is a longer sound. So the Brisa says that the shear of a trua is like three Shvarim, three moanings. Umar Savar Yulula Yaldil. Our Mishnah, which says Yavavos, Kishalosh Yavavos, similarly Yavava is a sob. You sob very quickly. So our Mishnah tells that's a machlokes. Is the shear of a trua shalosh yavava three sobbings or is it three moanings? So machlokes in the Mishnah, the Brisa, as you know, we blow 100 tkiyos on Rosh Hashana, not 9. So because of this machlokes, that contributes to a lot more. The shvarim trua, shvarim. We're not sure. Or machmer for all these shitas, even on Yom Tov Sheni, which is the Rabbanan, which is only because of Kilkulu Levi and Bashir. So how we blow so many tkiyos, I have no idea. But that seems to be the implication of the Gemara. The Gemara says, how do you know you blow? We're going to see the different tkiyos, but shofar, how do you know you blow on a shofar? It says by Yovel, you should blow a trua with a shofar. Ainly Ela be Yovel. That's only on Yovel. Meaning Yom Kippur, which falls on Yovel. Rosh Hashana minayin. How do you know you blow on Rosh Hashana? It says by Yovel, it says the 7th month. Now Yom Kippur does fall during the 7th month. But we don't have to know that. Could have just said we knew it was talking about Yom Kippur. Why does it have to add the 7th month? Why does it say that? You call trua shel chodesh shvi kazeh kazeh. All the truos should be like each other, meaning whatever you blow on Yom Kippur of Yovel, you should blow the same blowings on Rosh Hashana, which falls out during Tishrei of every year. How do you know that when you blow the tkiya, trua tkiya, that you have a tkiya before? It only says trua on the pasuk. Varta shofar trua. It says varta shofar trua havara in the pass through. You pass through without interruption. Usually passing through the notes without interruption. So therefore, a tkiya is something without interruption. How do you know the tkiya follows a trua? Ta'aviru shofar. It says ta'aviru shofar. Again, this is an extra time it says in the pasuk. Ta'aviru shofar is talking about after the trua. Again, it says ta'aviru, which is a lashon of uninterrupted blowing. Mainly ela b'yovel. The Brisa just concludes, like we said before, this pasuk, Varta Shofar Trua, is talking about Yovel, Rosh Hashanah. How do you know on Rosh Hashanah the same thing applies? Chodesh Hashvi. Again, it says by Yovel Chodesh Hashvi, the 7th month. Shein Tamalom, the top of Lamadam and Al, Shein Tamalom Chodesh Hashvi. Why does it say the 7th month? Matamalom Chodesh Hashvi. You call Trua Chodesh Hashvi Zeh Kazeh. They shall be similar. Rosh Hashanah of every year and Yom Kippur of Yovel all should be the same. They should have the format of Tkiya, Trua, Tkiya. Tomorrow we're going to learn. Now we just learned one set of Tkiya, Trua, Tkiya. How do you know you have to have 3 sets? So we'll learn that tomorrow. We have 2 more daf on the Rosh Hashanah before Tainus. I saw that they put up a sign here at Bnei Yeshivas. It's a day of fasting on Sunday. Sunday is the beginning of Masechus Tainus of Daf Yomi in order to... they didn't say fasting. What did they say? They said... Instead of fasting, I think they say you should join Daf Yomi and learn Masechus Tainus. Learn Masechus Tainus, it's better than fasting. So it was a reminder that everyone should get together. I saw that it's actually printed. I don't know if the Rabbanim were behind this or who is behind this, but they said in order to fix all our problems that we have, the tsaros, rabos, that surround us constantly, we should take on ourselves to learn Daf Yomi, Masechus Tainus. So because the Rabbanim said it, and all of Klal Yisrael is joined together to learn Masechus Tainus, which year do you tune into? You turn in to this year. There's no other share like it guaranteed in the world, or your money back, even though you didn't pay anything for this. You get it for free on YouTube. But I will pay your internet bill if you don't like it. I won't pay your internet bill, but you better turn into my share. It's going to be great. And I'm giving a heter right now, backed by no Rabbanim, that unfiltered internet is the right choice. It is a choice to get a filtered and unfiltered. you have Bechira Chavshis to do that also, and getting the right choices to get an unfiltered internet. All right, we'll end today's show with that. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe with Shmuel. Take care. Bye.